was always the dream. This was always the dream to come somewhere like this. I thought I was going to be Spain, but I switched into Malta. Listen, that's the other great thing about being a day trader, is that I can decide that Spain's not for me. I'll just move on to a different part of the world, literally. And that's what I've done. But as I said, this was always the dream. From day one, ever since I started my trading journey, it was always the dream to come and live somewhere like this, retire somewhere like this. And I guess I'm going to have, because I only work for a maximum 2 hours a day, maybe 45 minutes in the morning, and then maybe an hour, 15 minutes in the afternoon, and then the rest of the day is mine, So what do I do with the rest of my time? Well, I do a lot of training, running, boxing, martial arts, a lot of walking, go for coffee in the morning, have a cigar, sometimes go for lunch, have a glass of wine, just a glass of wine at lunch. We're still trading in the afternoon. And life is good, life is amazing. Life truly is amazing. And it was me that made it amazing. Because I've done two things. First of all, I believed that it was possible to do this. And that was the most important part. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's the most important part. Is I believed that I could do this. I believed I could achieve something like this. And then the second part of it obviously was to go and make some physical moves, put it into action. And that was it. It was difficult though. It was very difficult at the start when you're not seeing results. But I used to think to myself, what have I got to lose here? Just keep going. And I've used the analogy before about running. There's been many times over the years I've been out on very difficult runs, and I've just thought to myself, just keep going, keep going. If you have to slow down a little bit, well then slow down a little bit, but just keep going. And I kind of transferred that mindset into my life, and it's worked. It's truly worked. What have you got to lose? People come out and say, well, if you lose all your money trading, well then you're finished. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you're losing, you can stop trading with real money and go back to trading paper. You shouldn't be risking all your money anyway. That's the most important part of trading, is your risk management. And you'll hear every trader say it. Now, of course, it's easier to say it than to actually put it into practice. But this is where the dreams really do come true, is when you put that into practice. And it's a very difficult journey, of course it is. It's a really difficult journey. A lot of people do fail, of course they do. But why do they fail? Why do they fail? They fail because they give up. It's not because they didn't have what it takes. It's not because they weren't switched on enough or intelligent enough. It's got nothing to do with that. They failed because they gave up, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. How do you think you're going to achieve anything if you give up? As I said, you can't use the excuse of running out of money, because if you're starting to lose a good percentage of your capital account, you just stop trading with real money and go back to paper until you feel comfortable again. So therefore, there is no excuse. If you lose all your money, it's because of bad risk management. Now, we've all done it. I've blew up 2 accounts. Of course I have. Everybody has. But that was the last time I've done it. It happened to me twice. I'll never let it happen again. Do you understand? So therefore, the reason that people don't succeed is because they give up. And it's not just with trading, it's with everything in life. You'll see people going to the gym in January, New Year's resolution, I'm gonna change my life around and all this kind of stuff. And 5 weeks in, they're back eating crisps, sitting on the couch, eating pies, pastries, chocolate. They've given up after 5-6 weeks. But how the hell do you think you're going to achieve anything in life if you're going to give up so easy? It's impossible, absolutely impossible. So therefore, I'll say it again, the reason that people fail is because they give up. Okay? As I said, You start losing a good chunk of your capital account. You stop trading with real money. You go back to paper until you feel comfortable. And here's the other thing as well. I've said it many times again in the past. People impose timescales on themselves. When you impose limitations on yourself, how on God's earth do you think that you're going to prosper when already you've started to limit yourself through a timescale? It's just stupid. Does it really matter if it takes 6 months to make it or a year? At the time it might feel as though that's very important, but when you actually become successful, when you look back at it, you'll realise that it was bloody irrelevant. As a matter of fact, the longer it takes you, the sweeter it is when you do actually become successful. So these are all excuses, that people use, and they use them to quit. That's it. They use excuses to quit. There is no excuse to quit. You cannot find an excuse. I don't care what excuse you come up with, it's not valid as far as I'm concerned. And it goes back to the same thing. People these days give up too bloody easy. They really do. It gets a little bit tough and they start to look to blame things and people. This doesn't work, that doesn't work. Blah 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 blah. It does work because other people have been successful doing it, and that's been proven, right? So therefore, it's not the approach, okay? It's not the strategy, it's not the framework, it's the person that gave up. So as I said, how do you think you're going to be successful if you give up? You're not going to. Do you think world champions in any sport became world champions because they had an easy road and it was just easy for them? No, they didn't. The only reason they became world champions was because they never stopped. You probably find that, these people that have reached the pinnacle of their career probably didn't necessarily have natural talent. But what they made up for with that was persistence and an attitude to never ever give up. And that's it. It doesn't come down to intelligence or natural ability. That's nonsense, that is. It comes down to you being resilient and refusing to give up. And that's it. So stop looking for excuses. Stop blaming other people for your failings. Take responsibility, take ownership for your life. You're in control of your life, nobody else. So stop blaming other people and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. It's up to you to change your life. No one's going to come along and say, oh, here you go, I'm going to change your life. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to go out and do it yourself. And as I said, yeah, it's difficult. It's an emotional roller coaster. But listen, see if you want the best things in life, they're not just going to fall into your lap. You've got to work for them. And anybody that thinks different is sadly mistaken. Okay? This is the real world that we're in here. The real world. And the only people that survive and prosper are the people that are resilient. People that refuse to give up, no matter what. That's it. That's the secret to success. You've heard me saying it in many YouTube videos. The secret to success is just continuing to march on, troop on and keep going. And that's it. That is it. So, pull your socks up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. And go out and grab what you want. That's it.